back to another university segment. My name is Tyler Olsson. I am the University Program Director at Mousebelt, your host for REIMAGINE 2020. I have with me here Daniel Adebimpe at Duquesne University. Daniel, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Daniel Adebimpe. I came from West Hartford, Connecticut, the suburbs of the capital, Hartford, Connecticut, and a third generational student. I made it to Duquesne and really got interested into computer science and the technology that's coming.
Got it. And is Duquesne in Connecticut?
Duquesne is in Pittsburgh, so Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right in the city.
Got it. So yeah, same general area.
Yeah.
Cool. One thing that I've noticed when I've gone, further down the blockchain and cryptocurrency rabbit hole is that there's a wide variety of people here. And I think that that's in large part because there's a lot of different aspects to this technology and this space that attract different kinds of people. You have those people who really just love to geek out on the tech stuff. You have a lot of anarcho-capitalists, kind of like libertarian people who are trying to, rethink the notions of a free market. There's a lot of interesting overlap between what seem to be competing political ideas, but they all seem to kind of get wrapped up into one space. It sort of constitutes one general kind of interest. What's your background? How did you get involved with cryptocurrencies and blockchain, and what really excites you about all that?
Definitely. So first I was actually a finance major, and I loved finance, and I really wanted to learn about economics, how things worked in the macro scale, the micro scale. That was just really interesting to me. Someone like Roger Ver said the same thing. He really loved economics and discovered this Bitcoin thing. But so I worked at this small financial firm. They advised clients on how to invest their money. And I really wanted to do that as well. But then when I saw this Bitcoin or this blockchain, I saw that how investments could change, finance could change fundamentally. Its foundation could change. And at first I didn't really like it. And I said, this could never work. I mean, it's anarchist, like you're saying. But then taking another look at it, I came across this book called The Blockchain Revolution by the Tapscott brothers. And I picked it up. I read the first flap, and it said that it was going to reinvent money. It was going to reinvent business. And here's the way that you can be on board with it. And that's when the light bulbs went off. And I said that this could really change the way we do business. It could free our markets. But I don't think in an anarchist way that needs to happen. There are definitely ways that you can implement the tech. And so now I think the technology, it's a question of leadership and governance as opposed to just the technology issue.
Yeah, so you would say that there is a place for regulations around blockchains as sort of platforms for settling financial transactions and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How about in your region? Are people generally responsive to it? Are they in the know? Is there a lot of skepticism? I mean, I've seen Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I've seen both. There's a lot of people in the space that have been in it for a while and have heard all the talks about how it'll change the world, and they kind of scale back because they've been in it so long and nothing too much of significance has occurred. And then you've got the people that are just getting into it and saying, oh my gosh, like people like myself. And so there's a little bit of both, but we are getting the interest in the community talk and all those things together now in Pittsburgh. And that's what's really exciting. Groups like Meetup are having a lot of blockchain meetups. TIE is a entrepreneurship organization in Pittsburgh. They're hosting a lot of blockchain technology of the future talks. And then there's even companies now that are looking into it and investing in research and things like that. So I'd say there's a mix, but it's really headed towards a positive direction.
Yeah, and I think that that's a good thing that there's a lot of meetups happening, as it sounds, because you need to cushion a lot of education around the interest in this stuff, because what you find when you start looking deeper is that there's a lot of technical things going on under the hood, which you can't really separate from your attempt to try to sell people on why it's important, or sort of how it's going to become like a really important part of the future, right? And so yeah, like, I think that just keeping the conversations open and, having community meetups and inviting people to the sort of less hostile regions of, crypto Twitter and whatnot, getting linked out to all this stuff, that's an important part of the success of this technological revolution going forward.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Yeah, on there.
So that brings me to my next question. What does blockchain education look like at your institution? Are there like courses that people can take, or are the students generally, trying to?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a great question. There's not really much going on at Duquesne, and that's kind of why I had the initiative to build this ecosystem, so I could even myself learn and continue to learn about it. But there are schools in Pittsburgh, like Carnegie Mellon and Pitt, that do have cryptocurrency classes, and they are getting involved with cryptocurrency, with their investments, their creations with it. And so, we can really fit in nicely with them. But then once I kind of sent out this memo or this newsletter to everyone, to the school, there was definitely a lot of interest, and people understood how it could change a lot of things, and it will change a lot of things. And so I'd say that's where things are now.
So are y'all trying to do little regional meetups with the other clubs in the surrounding area? Something like that, sort of join forces?
We'll try and do that, yes, in the future.
Cool. All right. Looks like we're starting to kind of run out of time here. So I want to ask you about any projects that you're working on, right? I know that you have the club, and you said that sort of y'all are trying to facilitate some conversation there and maybe link up with some of the surrounding clubs. But is there anything that you specifically have in the works, maybe now or on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a big believer in the technology, and I would love to create something with it. I think technology speaks to us, through nature, and it's telling us to do something, and it's screaming privacy and restoration. And so, yes, we are trying to bring something to the table with this, with a compiler, a portable compiler that can create secure and reliable smart contracts. That's done through a new language. And so we're trying to fuse this with our group and build an actual new powered organization with the technology, so that we can not only produce a galvanized interest with blockchain, having education, all of those things, but we can do that in a new powered way. We can do that with the new tech. And but that's what I'll say about that. But definitely a lot of good things going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that's the way of the future. How do you imagine the future what does the future look like to you? How did things unfold after 2020?
Yeah, that's a real good question. I think that's probably the best question you could ask somebody with blockchain in the question.
Mhm.
And I think that blockchain will really start to redefine our markets, redefine our industries in the next, I'd say, 3 to 5 years. You can already see that the financial system's kind of unraveling here, and that it needs a restoration tool. And like I said, it's a technology that's coming to us through nature, and it's telling us that kind of forecasting what will happen. And so I would say tokenization would be in the future. I would say being able to invest in any company in the world, whether it's a small startup or your local business, I think that could be possible. I think people will start owning their own identities and monetizing their information in the next few years. I think those things are possible. And I think that people will really start to understand that data and information is so important, and that that more value will start to come up from those understandings, and a lot of different creativity, new companies, and the list is endless.
Yep. Yeah, man, what a future. Being able to invest in any company you want from the comfort of your couch, maybe after a Zoom meeting,
Yeah,
and with your iPhone.
that's right.
Great. Well, there you have it, folks. Daniel, Duquesne University. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to hop on a call with me, man.
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it.
All right. I hope you have a good rest of 2020. Take care. Stay tuned to learn more about the state of blockchain education at major universities all around the world. Reimagine 2020.